Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at Emerson College, Hollywood. I'm delighted to be joined with Victor with his fantastic film, Breathe. Let's take a look at the clip. Victor, thank you so much for joining us and bringing your film to us at New Filmmakers LA. We really appreciate you. For those that haven't seen Breathe, tell us a brief synopsis.
So, Breathe tells the story of a stray astronaut who is about wheezing his last breath of oxygen when he gets contacted by a mysterious alien creature, and now he has to go through this journey to survival to know if he's able to go back to Earth.
It's a brilliant story. I can't believe you delivered so much in like 5 minutes. Like I was like, what? This is incredible. Like I really wanted more. The visualization, the story, it was just really, really top notch. Where did you get your inspiration, Victor, in creating the project?
So this was supposed to be a normal project, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a proper cast, crew, equipment, and all of that. And then pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So we had to I had two options. Like I can just stop doing this and just move to the next thing, or trying to save it and just do everything by myself. So everything in the film, like from the visuals, I even perform, if you can call that performing, but
yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did a good
cool,
job.
Cool. So it was done by me. So I love to collaborate, but this was a unique opportunity to go back. Like, okay, how about if I do everything and I have time because it was a pandemic. So I had time and I had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, going back and forward to the story. And I found inspiration actually in what was happening in the pandemic. That's why it's called Breathe, right?
Yeah.
Like he's losing oxygen. He's wearing a mask for staying away. And now he has a new opportunity to come back, but he has to face, his own mortality.
Yeah.
If he's willing to go back to live with persons, that way he's all the time alone in the space. And when he comes back, it comes to an Earth for staying away, but it has a different shape, like how we felt when we took off our masks sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you have this uncertainty feeling. Right?
Yeah,
like you
absolutely.
don't know where you are.
Yeah.
But you have to move forward, right? And that's what the character does. So
it's such a clever concept. Like I love it, honestly. It's and as you said, you get a lot of people who are really, really impressed by your film, and it deserved to be seen on the big screen as well. How was that experience? Like, being in front of camera, being behind camera, the whole dynamic. How did you put that all together? What was that kind of experience like?
It was interesting because I have some animation background, and it turned out to be pretty similar in terms that every shot was already planned ahead, so there wasn't like room for improvisation. Even if I wanted to add things, I had to add them later, not on the shooting day and things like that. And even though I say that I did everything myself, I couldn't have done it without the help of Gina, my wife, who's here. So she helped me a lot in the production process. And then after we had like these pre-visualizations that looked really bad, then I added myself and we had to like little tweaks, you start it never ends, the process of creating the film, right? So when we finish everything, I realized like, hey, I had no beard. If I've been in space during all this time, I should have like a big beard. So we had to act that in post later as well.
Oh,
so
really?
It was like, trying to it's like Lego, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So it was like that, like, oh, I need a building. Okay, I have to get this 3D asset from here. I need a spaceship. Okay, so it was like, playing in a sandbox. It was fun in that sense. And now I'm doing other projects where I collaborate with people, and that's a different thing. But this was really unique in that way. I never thought I'll be back to like do everything yourself, in a sandbox. Yeah.
Well, I mean, goodness me, you took on all those roles and did a really, really good job. Now, coming from an animation background, how did this project kind of like differ? What kind of techniques did you want to incorporate into this to kind of create this world and kind of universe that you created for him?
Yeah, I mean, I first go to like the theme, like right. He was isolated, in his last breath for saying away, and I wanted to have like these you know, the spaces where you can see that you are in a real space,
Yeah.
but also isolated. So I had to create like these realistic landscapes, but still not totally realistic because there's an astronaut flying there. So obviously it brings this surreal imaginary, and that was the thing, like having this little you know, bandwidth between something realistic but not too realistic. Like you feel uneasy, you know, while you're watching, like, oh, this looks real, but it doesn't feel that real, and you're like on a trip.
Yeah.
With like as the main character, that was the idea. We start really realistic, then we go to this trip of this odyssey, you know, if he's gonna be able to come back to Earth, and then we breathe again, like, okay, now everything is normal. So
actually, one of my favorite artists, Salvador Dali, like some of the you know, the visualizations he gave us was just like very much like, you know, his kind of introspective, and thought that was brilliant. I was like, you're up there with Dali, it's brilliant, you know.
Fun.
Let's talk about the score. I'm in love with the score. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
So this happens to me like a lot of times. I'm a filmmaker, right? Like, so I love to do narrative stuff, but that's not usually what you will get all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you get more commercial projects, right, you have to work on. So I have this thing that sometimes I get like music videos.
Yeah.
But I try to make them, hey, what about if we make it a short film?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right,
Instead
exactly.
Of a music video.
Yeah.
And so that had happened to me like 2 other times.
Really?
And this third time, I say like the same thing to him, like to the artist.
Yeah.
He's in the main character. He's called Rava Yek, right?
So good.
And it appears there. And then like what is great is like it serves to create this story based on the music. So I had already had the story, you know, all the templates, all of that, but I didn't know exactly the beats. So it was interesting to come out and just create the visuals based on the music. So that's why it's so energetic. So kudos to him because he's an amazing electronic music artist.
Yeah.
But it was a great mix, you know. Like,
absolutely. I mean, it was such a great combination, and I much prefer seeing like a short film incorporated that sits well with a music video, because it just, there's so much more depth and thought to it, and so I'm glad that you did that. Looking back on the project and making it over the 5 months, et cetera, like what was the hardest thing you had in making it?
So it was hard to make these realistic graphics, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of iterations and like trying. And I have some friends. I sent it over to them, and they were like, "No, how about if you do this, you do this?" And I learned a lot in terms of post-production. My goal as a filmmaker is to, of course, create really narrative dramas, but with like some fantasy elements. So I'm happy to have learned these tools, because in my next projects I'll definitely use, you know, have this toolbox, you know, this toolkit that I can know. Oh, now I can put an astronaut flying over there. You know? you start playing with these tools. Yeah. So that was a difficult experience in general, but again, like I had time, so that's what saved everything.
No, you did fantastic. Sorry, I'll make sure you got no interruptions. This was so special because this was with NewFilmmakers LA. It was also in partnership with the Oscars, and it's like our staple event of the year. How was that experience for you?
It was incredible. I've been lucky enough to being in NewFilmmakers LA previously. Yeah. But it was, again, during the pandemic. I was cooking this project actually when
were you?
So and now I can finally see it live, you know, with people. Like audience is totally different. Like I understand that sometimes you have to do like virtual meetings and things like that, but that's good, but it doesn't replace at all the human experience. Just getting feedback from people around, and like they surprise when they have to surprise, or this bit doesn't work, this bit works, and especially watching all these other amazing films as well on the big screen, you're like, oh, I'm part of this group of filmmakers that are trying to you know, to come up and do great great stuff. So that's I think like an unique experience. It was like an amazing theater, and I got a lot of feedback from people. So I cannot ask more of as a filmmaker. Isn't that like what you want?
Well, people love your film. So what's cooking right now? What are you doing for the next film? What's next? When are we got your next film, Victor?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm finishing a short film right now that is gonna start the festival circuit and all that, and it goes a little bit on this surreal part as well. And I'm finishing right now, probably like 1 or 2 drafts away from what I hope to be my first feature.
Amazing.
And it's great because it's something that I wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't have all this knowledge from all these projects that I've done before. So it feels like a culmination of something that has been growing up. So hopefully we're gonna go there.
And you're gonna let us know when it's done, right? Because you know we're family now, right, Victor?
Indeed,
okay.
Indeed.
But listen, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. Thank you for bringing your second film. So glad we got to do it in person. But 2 films at the Oscars, like 2 years in a row. Not bad, is it really? But
can't complain.
But no, well done you. Well done also your lovely wife Gina as well, and producer. And so you know, fantastic. And looking forward to seeing your first feature. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks very much, Victor. Everybody.